All right, it looks like I'm live. I wasn't quite sure there. Huh. So it looks like everything is okay. Let's to concurrent viewers, good morning. Welcome to the channel. So was having a little problem setting up the live stream. It failed a couple times, and so I think that we're up and we're online and it's all good. So as always, good morning. Welcome to the channel. My name is Rich Charpentier. I'm the channel host. And wow, doing a lot of live streams this week. We did the regular Monday one, and I did one on Wednesday. And on Wednesday, we went out and did some flying to create a 3D model. And we were flying the drone with Ground Station Pro. And on Wednesday, I promised I'll put together a video and show you the final model. In the class that I'm doing on Ground Station Pro, the more important part was setting up the flight and going out to capture images to make a 3D model. And so we went ahead and made a very low-end 3D model, which came out fantastic, and I'll be showing you that in just a couple of moments here. So yeah, we had an early morning flight today in the Granite Dells in Prescott, Arizona, so I wanted to show you a little bit of that as well, and then let you see that 3D model. So that's where we're at this morning. This should be a shorter one. I could have sat down and edited something together to show you that 3D model, but I thought it'd be fun to also include what we were up to today. So what were we up to today? Well, the other day while we were out flying for the tutorial, I also went ahead and did some 360 images for a client of mine, and wasn't fully satisfied with it because we didn't have great clouds, great contrast in the sky. It was a pretty blank blue sky. And we were actually doing terrestrial images for 360 models, and we were doing drone images for the 360 models. And now that monsoon season seems to be heating up here, we had some amazing clouds yesterday and some rocking thunderstorms to the north of us, but not right here. But we had some good clouds this morning, so I got up really early, and Jody and I headed out. So she went and did the terrestrial imaging for the 3D models, or I'm sorry, for the 360 panos. And I went out with the drone into the Dells to get some 360 panos there. So we're gonna be putting together a really large 360 virtual tour of our client location, Pointer Rocks RV Campground. And of course, I'll be letting folks know on channel when that's up. It'll be up over on their website as well as one of our websites. So when we get there, I'll let you know about it. And good morning, everyone. I see we got a couple of viewers on. Thanks for joining in on such short notice. We just got back a little while ago from our shooting this morning, and I decided why not go ahead and do a live stream again, because it's helping me think through my work process, and it also shows you some things, the 360s we're doing in those 3D models. So let's go ahead and quit the preview. And so what we had done on Wednesday, I had shown you that we were getting all of our media offloaded on Wednesday for one of my new drone classes. So I took you through a bunch of stuff. We talked about the flight out there. We actually recorded the flight, recorded me on screen as we're doing the voiceover and everything. And I had set up an incredibly simple flight path for Ground Station Pro to do a simple 3D model. It's a very small area. I think it said maybe 6 acres. And I got a little impatient after we finished the live stream, and I said, I just want to see how this model came out. So I did the model on the lowest settings possible in Metashape. So what you're looking at here is Metashape. It's a 2D and 3D modeling desktop software for Windows and Mac. And the whole flight and everything and the whole video for the Ground Station Pro class doesn't really have much to do with final processing of 3D models, but I decided, hey, we're going to not only fly this, we're going to show people the results. So I went through the process of aligning the photos, and when I did that, we did this on low. So I'm just showing you the settings. So I did everything as low as possible because I didn't want to wait for hours on end for the software to render this. So when I first imported the 288 images from our flight, we did a north-south and east-west grid pattern. And when we got back, I offloaded these, and I decided I was impatient, so I just wanted to see these because they were just for the class. So The dense cloud I did was the lowest possible setting, so we could do a lot better with this model. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that. And then in the workflow, we built the mesh and the texture. And then this morning I ran the digital elevation model in the ortho mosaic just for fun. So number one, before we look at the 3D qualities of this and how well Ground Station Pro did for collecting these images and really rendering a nice model, I just wanted to show you the digital elevation model. Cancel. I don't need to do that in the workflow. I can just show it to you over here on the left. So the granite dells, the rock formations, are pretty amazing. It's a pretty crazy location. If you're into backpacking or rock climbing, you'd love this place. So if you haven't ever been to Prescott, Arizona before, you might want to consider it sometime if you like backpacking, rock climbing, mountain biking, kayaking. This place has got it all. So as you can see, we've got some higher elevation areas here. They're in the yellow, oranges, and reds. And then you can see where, hey, this is probably where the rain's going to be running off during monsoon season. So that's, can give you some ideas if you're planning to build in a place like this. Ortho mosaic model, there's our regular old two-dimensional model in here. And this really did render nicely. We've got some really good detail in here. And I can even make out, there is the orange helipad right there. Jody's shadow as she's watching it, and I'm right over here as well. So yeah, we got some really nice detail, even though we didn't fly as many images as I had anticipated doing. But I decided to shorten the length of the video for the folks who'd be watching that class. And so if you're wondering why I'm looking over to the right, just making sure if anyone's talking in the chat there. So the whole point of putting this one together, we used Ground Station Pro to fly this area. So let's zoom it out. So this is the area that that we flew my Mavic 2 Pro with Ground Station Pro running the show. And we had it flying north, south, and east, west. So let's go to the dense cloud first. Because like I said, we ran the dense cloud at the lowest possible setting, so we could still have a lot more, much higher resolution that we'd be looking at if I'd actually really let the dense cloud go. As we're zooming in here, so when we're zoomed out, it kind of looks like an image, doesn't it? But as we zoom in, we can actually see all the points that make up the dense cloud, and there are a lot of them. So just kind of interesting to take a look at. If this was a higher detailed dense cloud, we'd see even more. And I've actually found sometimes just even looking at the dense clouds tells me everything I want to know about the 3D model. What I'm going to do now, we've got this little XYZ rotation tool in Metashape. So I just wanted to show you around. So we're still in the dense cloud, so it's still not even, with the mesh and the texture, this is going to look a lot better, a lot more realistic. But we did get the coverage all the way around these rock formations, 360 degrees. So we really can see where the canyons are, where the trees are in there. And yes, I know the trees look like melting ice cream. That's something that happens in a lot of 3D models. Could have been a little nicer if I ran it on, a higher level. So one of these days I'll go back and just let it run through the night, and then we'll see how nice this model came out. But let's recenter this really fast, and I'm going to go to the 3D model view. So like I've been saying over and over, this was very low res. We did not push everything as far as we could. And let's start zooming in and taking a look, let's say at this rock formation right here. The detail is awesome. So Ground Station Pro really helped us capture everything we needed to cover all the way around these formations. So this particular wall is facing toward the west, so it's darker, it's in shadow, and not the best time of day to do a 3D model here. Hey Matt, how are you doing? Good looking point cloud, even at the, yeah, it really came out nice. I always like checking out the dense clouds, because sometimes I feel like they almost have as much detail as after I do the mesh and the texture. When I do the higher end point clouds, it's just so much detail showing through. It's incredible. And a point cloud like this one even would probably look great on Sketchfab. So I think I'll rerun this one maybe over the weekend when I'm not sitting on the computer so much. I'll just do a batch process and have it run high on everything. And that'll disallow me from working on the Mac for the day. So anyways, rotating around here. So, this area is in shadow. This is not the best time of day. We were super early, so we're going to have a lot of shadows because the sun's low in the sky. A great time to do 3D modeling is midday, when the shadows are at their shortest, when as much as possible is illuminated. That's going to come out really nice. So, but even with the heavy shadowing here, the detail, I mean, you can see the splits in the rocks, and this is what this area looks like, and you'll see more of that coming up in a few with the 360 virtual tour stuff we were playing with. So now we can see the brighter side in here, looking really good, and we can even scroll over here. So we were right in this area, and yeah, there's the helipad right there. There's my little takeoff and landing area. Once again, not the greatest resolution, but I can recognize that right away. I see Jody's shadow right in here. So this one worked out really good. I'm going to double click and recenter that again. And let's just move into some of the other areas. I've got a favorite standing boulder right in here. So let's get a zoom in on that. So this boulder right here, it's a standing boulder, and it's actually well taller than I am. So this gives you a good feel for what the granite dells feel like in here. I've on the top area here, I've done many photo sessions, usually late in the afternoon, early evening, for some of the amazing cloud formations that happen during monsoon season. So that's one of my favorite spots to shoot from. Once again, very simple model, very short area. I'd like to show off more of the dells again. So I think now that when I right now or not, I hope that you can. But thank you very much, and nice to meet you. So from Sweden, that's awesome. Is this streaming? Error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Hi everybody, I seem to be back. It said that YouTube was not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers might have some problems here. I'm going to go ahead and close Metashape really quick. Don't save. I'm going to open the widget. And so if you could, if you're seeing me right now, if you could let me know, because it's saying that we're having a problem with the stream at the moment. First I had a problem connecting to the stream first thing this morning. And now this. So it's not receiving enough video. Yes, I'm back. Thank you. And thanks for stopping by and saying howdy. So I don't know if maybe Metashape was a little bit too much while we're streaming as well. That could be the case, but I think that the streaming is back and okay. So I'm seeing, there we go. No data again. What is going on? So here we go. All right, it says it's back, and I think that we're good. We're back to excellent connection. So I am really sorry about that. That was really weird. And once again, it's saying YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience some buffering. Oh, I'm sorry about that. We don't have anything else going on here. Stream setting seems to be okay. And stream health. So we've had a couple of errors here. Stream's current bitrate was too low, yet it's saying on OBS that everything's looking good. A little choppy here and there, you're good. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for the update on that. All right, so I think you got the idea with the 3D model that came out really nicely with that Ground Station Pro flight. So pretty excited about that. If I do rerun it, I'll pop it up next week. Maybe I'll do it on Monday's live stream. But the second thing I want to show you, because this was the fun today, okay? Let me go ahead and also just turn my mail off. I'm just turning everything off that might be causing headaches. So there we go. Now it says excellent connection again. So the other thing that we did this morning, so we had a little bit of fun, and this was a little bit of fun for one of our clients. So we've got Pointer Rocks RV Campground in Prescott is one of our many customers, RV park customers that we work with. So we do a lot of web work for RV parks as well. We've traveled with an Airstream for years. We actually full-timed in it for quite some time. And I'm looking forward to some Airstream trips again this year. Once this whole pandemic, once we see some control with it, I've been stir crazy to get out on the road and do a little travel again and have some photographic fun in other locations. All right, so looks like the stream's still going good. I'm still checking over in the other screen again. So in addition to the web work that we do for some of our RV park clients, we also do imaging work for them as well. And Pointer Rocks is just one of those amazing places. So, oh, by the way, for all those of you who've been popping by here regularly, proof that Jody is real. Jody's in the red hat and the red shirt. Apparently, it's the open of the baseball season now. Jody is a hardcore Boston Red Sox fan, so she's got her Red Sox stuff on today. And I'm just checking out the drone. This is a new location that the folks at Pointer Rocks are building out. So we were out there really early today to get some of the great cloud formations. So we actually split our jobs today. Let's see. You're back. Thoughts on mapping that is dawn or dusk to eliminate those shadows. Matt, best time of day is midday. So when the sun is highest in the sky, it's giving you the fewest shadows there. Also, overcast days are awesome for modeling. So if you've got completely overcast skies, like where I used to live back in New England, and you'd have the completely overcast day, those are fantastic days for modeling. So going really early in the morning, you can see all the shadows going on here on the 360 virtual tour thing. There's a lot of shadows going on in here, some shadows from the trees here. Those shadows can actually mess some things up for your modeling efforts. So if you can go out midday when it's not 95 degrees with hyper blue skies, you're doing really good. So yeah, if you can plan those types of flights right in the middle of the day, sun's highest in the sky, you're going to have a good time. You can work around the shadows, and I do early morning flights for some clients. It all depends on weather, the temperature. If we're expecting crazy winds later in the day, sometimes I will do the morning flights just because that's what I can fit in for what it's doing outside. But yeah, if you have the opportunity, shooting midday for your models is going to be your best case scenario. So yeah, Jody and I split our efforts. So I've got the drone controller right there in my hand. You'll see a tripod right over here. So this is one of our Manfrotto tripods. We've got a Nodal Ninja 6 on that for using a DSLR for doing 360s. So Jody walked the upper loop of the campground, and I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. So she went through to make sure that we could show off all of the different RV parking areas for potential customers. And so she was doing that, and then I was showing off the trail up out of the park into the Granite Dells. So this park, the folks that own it actually own 80 acres of the Granite Dells. So the trail that's going up into the Dells is all on their property, and some amazing views from there. So it's absolutely gorgeous in the Dells. If you've been a longtime viewer on this channel, you've probably seen other things from here. But for those of you who haven't, let's go ahead and move this. So I actually took a good walk back into the park, and I have myself up on one of the other rocks. But what you're looking at right here, so this was the DJI Mavic 2 Pro using the DJI Go 4 app to do some simple 360 panos. So we've got the skies blown out over here thanks to that big glowing ball in the sky, the sun. So we've got some blown out areas there, but I wanted this one facing out. We're going to be chaining all these together. We're going to be combining this part of the tour with what Jody did with the 7D. So this is going to be a longer virtual tour when we're done. I think there's like 12 or let me see, 2, 3. So I've got 12 images up here. I took a couple other ones out that were kind of redundant, very similar. But what we're looking at here is one of my favorite spots. So the reason I stopped and stayed in Prescott, Arizona back in 2007, I am a rock climber, vertical walls. And Prescott's was ranked one of the top 10 climbing locations in the U.S. years ago. I don't know if it still is or not, but we've got Granite Mountain out to the west with with some incredible climbs. And then we've got the granite dells here, and there's some great climbs in here. And what we're looking at, this particular wall here is called Thor's Wall, and it's got some other rock formations on the back of it that are like little stacked marbles. They call that Thor's marbles. But look at the zoom level in here. So once again, this is the Mavic 2 Pro, and the quality here, we're not getting any pixelation on the edges or anything. Some great detail in the rocks. This little break between these two rocks is one area that you can actually drop a rope for top roping. Some of the climbs in here are like 5'9", 5'10", so pretty difficult climbs. You can do traditional climbing in here as well. There are bolts in the rocks, bolted routes, so you can do trad climbing if you're into that. So this is a great way to show some of this off. So climbers could be very interested in seeing some of these areas. As I'm panning around here, what's hidden behind this rock formation is another one over here that's called Time Zone Wall. A couple of great climbs on Time Zone Wall as well, and some really good starter climbs for people who are just really getting into rock climbing. There's a couple of top ropes in there, and there's also a couple of trad routes that are only like 5'6", 5'7", so people who are new to that can get comfortable on some easier walls. So let's look around this a little more. So this is literally 2.5 hours ago, almost 3 hours ago we were out. So we've got some of the monsoonal build already starting for the morning. Yesterday we tried going out midday, and we just had some giant billowing clouds that really blocked out half the sky. So half the sky was gorgeous and we could have some fun shooting it, and the other half was just a big wall of black ominous clouds. So we went too late yesterday, but this morning we made up for that. So we're still looking around here. The other thing that I had mentioned was way out in the distance, Granite Mountain has an incredible slab on the backside of it for climbing. And we've got Willow Lake out here. So we've got Watson and Willow Lake. And let me zoom that back out. So I just literally pulled these into Kula before I started this live stream. And so I haven't done anything with these yet. There's no color correction, no exposure correction or anything. I just wanted to see what they look like, because I can delete this from Kula afterward, and then we'll combine it all together with the work that Jody did. So I wanted to give you all a look around here. And so these are canyons down in here, and these are real trees coming up. So these aren't just shrubs. So, the canyons are deeper than they appear to be. So wouldn't this be cool? That's why I really want to redo an entire 3D flight of this segment of the Dells with Watson Lake in it to really showcase those canyons. Let's move on to the second one. So I start moving everything back, because what we're doing with this series is we're working our way back to Pointer Rocks RV Campground, showing people where the trail is so that they've got a good idea of where they're going if they decide to take a short hike. And it's not a long hike from the park either. So we moved over basically where we're looking at now. We were way off to the left before, so now we've moved over to the right here. So we're moving to the west. And there are a couple trails from Pointer Rocks Campground that lead right down to the lake and to one of the main trails on the lake as well. So let's take a look around here. Off in the distance, we have Watson Lake Park. So our clients are right next to Watson Lake Park. So this is a super popular area. And we can just turn around, because now we're looking back toward the Pointer Rocks area. Also to point out, there is a photographer down there named me. So I was sitting down there with my Tilly hat. I was already getting blinded by the sun this morning. Keeping the drone really close. You don't have to go that far to show things off. And I think maybe I was at 50 feet above ground with these. I know that I brought it up to 60 something at one point. So that's me right there. And now we're rotating around and I can see the trail right over here. I am really happy with Kula, by the way. So we've looked into Cloud Pano as well, and at some point we might start using them as well. But I'm loving, so we're fully zoomed in here. So if we zoom this out, actually let's scroll down on the right hand side. Let's just mess with those zoom settings real quick. Let's put that to 0. So this is the 0 location. We can also zoom all the way out. So whoa. By the way, you see the weirdness in the sky here. That's what DJI Go 4's app does when it automatically stitches your 360s for you. I'm not going to complain too much about it. It's okay. So I could do something else with the sky if I wanted to. But what everyone's really looking at here when they're coming to see these types of things, you know, they're going to look down to see where those trails are. Maybe they'll look around to see those cliff walls to give themselves an idea of what they'd like to get out and see. And then we've got the trail over here, so we can zoom into that. So I don't think a lot of people are going to be, hey, let's look straight up at the top of the sky. I don't think most folks will be too interested in that. So let's go on to the next one. All right. And I think I might, what's going on here? Okay, there I go. Quit without saving. Alrighty. Sorry, since I was moving the zoom slider around, it wanted me to save those settings. So we pulled the drone further back. Actually, let's go to this one first. So I pulled the drone further back on this one. I just wanted to show you. So the whole point of what we were up to, see this trail right in here, and the trail goes over here. We wanted to let the guests of Pointer Rocks know, hey, so there is an official trail maintained by the folks at Pointer Rocks. So you're not going to get lost easily in here. So I wanted to make sure that people really had a good feel for where they were looking around and seeing. So this is also the trail that I hiked up to get into the rocks this morning. It's a super short trip from the campground itself, maybe like 7 to 10 minutes max, and you're up and in the rocks. Pretty amazing. All right, let's go to number 6 here. So just pulling the drone further back, there is the main trail. And if you look off to the side here, you can see the trail over in here. So we'll be making markers in the 360. And then as we look further down, there's that trail again. So you could walk across these rocks here and then drop down to the trail, or you can walk around them on the main trail. It's up to you and what kind of adventure you want to have. But absolutely gorgeous location. And here we are in July, and we've actually got some green here in Arizona. So we still need more rain, of course. So moving on to the next one, this kind of got a blue color cast, so I'm probably going to be doing some editing on that. In Lightroom, it's just where the sun at that point had disappeared behind one of the smaller clouds, so it really cooled the color temperature off, so a little editing going on. I hope I'm not making you sick. Hey, Sonic fanboy, that looks cool. Well, thank you very much, and good to see you guys. So still looking around here. So we've got some nice colors out in the distance, but this photo is going to need some work. Also, this is another favorite location for me. On a recent video, I had pointed out this climb here that actually dips down into a canyon. That canyon's in the dark, but that's another favorite climb of mine. We've got another standing boulder right here, and then you can actually drop down into the canyon over here and make your way up through the canyon. So very unique location. We'll take a look back over here out toward Granite Mountain. And something got in the way of the camera there. It's probably one of the dragonflies. Could not believe how many dragonflies were out there this morning. So still pulling the view further back so that we can show people there's that trail. So we did a couple back to back. I just really wanted to make sure that folks who are looking at this and making their plans had a good idea that it's a very obvious trail. It's a very well-marked trail. I also had a nice conversation this morning with these two folks down here. They had seen the drone up in the air, and as I saw them making their way up along the trail, I went ahead and landed the drone, closed everything up, had a nice conversation with them. The husband really liked what was going on with the drone, and he said, I think I gave the drone a wave. It might show up. I'm not sure if I see him waving, but I do see both of them down there. So fun conversation. I always like talking with folks who are out camping. Everybody's always got a great story. Let's switch over to the next one. So we've now moved way down. So now we're looking at the trail that's going into the Granite Dells. And if we rotate ourselves around here, you will see there's the trail. Jody had just come up with and met me, so she got her photos done faster than I got mine done. You know, I had to swap a battery. So there I am, there Jody is, and the drone's just really close into us at this point. I then just raised the elevation ever so much because I also wanted to include a feel for the people who are coming to the campground. So what we're looking at, we've got the trail going right in here, and then we've got an RV parked here with a truck in front of it, and we've got lots of RVs in here. That's what Jody was shooting this morning, so she'll be processing all of that. She'll be offloading from the 7D, and then she'll be post-processing in Lightroom, and also she'll be using PT GUI to assemble all that stuff since she's using the DSLR. But so she actually went through this entire upper loop area. So when we're done with this, potential guests to the park are going to see all of the site numbers and signs, so they can really get a great feel for, hey, is this going to fit my fifth wheel? Is this going to fit my Class A? Is this going to fit my little 19-foot Airstream? You know, it gives them a great feel for the layout of the entire park. And just so you know, this isn't a one-off. We're going to be doing four more parks this year. So we have a lot of RV park clients. And yesterday, as a matter of fact, I was talking to one of the clients. They're in a larger chain of parks. And right now, we know that we've got 4 parks this fall that we're going to have to go down to do the virtual tours and some more imaging and some more web work for them. So this isn't the only park we're doing. That's what I'm saying. All right, let's switch over to the next one. And this one, I raised up the elevation just a little more. I got it to, I think, 120 feet above ground because I gave myself a ceiling right in there. In this area with Lance authorization, I can fly up to 400 feet above ground. It's not really necessary. You've got a lot of detail in here. We're seeing everything that's going on in the park, and actually we can take a zoom in. So we've really got some great detail in here, and what's going to supplement that detail is all the terrestrial imaging that Jody was doing this morning while I was doing the aerial. So let's move over to the next one, because this is a new area. They got a new picnic area that they've been developing at Pointer Rocks, and this is actually a very high rock formation as well. So I flew this one a little higher just to show this new area. So this was all trees and shrubs in here before, but this is a really nice little spot now. So Jody and I decided, hey, let's go ahead and be in the pictures here. No big deal. So we had the helipad out. We were talking real quick, and it was doing its shots. So when the DJI Go 4 app is doing those 360s for you, it's so smooth. It's so slick how it does it, because it's just sitting there, and you can see the gimbal going down. It makes a short little turn. The gimbal starts coming back up, makes another turn, goes down again. And it's the quality on the stitching in the Go 4 app is pretty amazing to me. I also use Litchi for doing 360 panos as well. But you know, on the Mavic 2 Pro, I've got to give props to DJI. I did not like doing 360s on the original Mavic, but I like them a lot better with the Go 4 app and the Mavic 2 Pro. So it encourages laziness because it's dealing with all the stitching for me. So there you go. And we did one more closer to the ground. So, you know, I think we had this about 20 feet above us. And just looking around that new picnic area. In our past couple of visits, there's been several folks out here making use of the area. And the trail behind us heads off this way to my part of the tour. So probably today and tomorrow we'll be combining these. We'll be putting all the links in. We'll also be putting links into this tour to our Watson Lake tour that I did several weeks ago. So we're going to be cross-linking some of our virtual tours that we're doing around Prescott in order to give people ideas of where all these great things are. So, hey, here's where Watson Lake is, and I could go kayaking. Here's where a campground is, so I could stay there for the night. Here's the cool downtown with all the art galleries and all the restaurants. So we're starting to tie together a lot of our virtual tours, and we'll be featuring them. You'll see more of them on live streams and things here as well. Let's see. So nice terrain. Absolutely crazy Sonic fanboy. And I know that you're familiar with Prescott's Granite Dells. So yeah, it's just a different view though, isn't it, than when you go walking around in the Granite Dells. It's a very big difference. So that's what we were up to this morning. So I'm glad that I got to share the 3D model with everybody here. Sorry about the network connection issues that were going on before, but I hope you got enough to understand how well that 3D model came out. And like I said, over the weekend, maybe I'll just run a batch process overnight, and next week on the Monday live stream, we can have a conversation about how much better that 3D model looks when we bump up all the settings. So, and I'll make sure to put out a notice on channel to everyone that that model is up, and also I'll put out a notice channel to everyone when we finish this particular tour, because I mean, between the images that I got and then all the images that Jody got, it's probably going to be like 25 to 27 images long when it's all said and done. but it should really, you know, we want to show the park off in detail. So a lot of fun. So I'll leave you with this one here at Thor's Wall, and it's just one of my favorite spots. And I need to get out there and get some more hiking in again. So this whole pandemic thing has kind of shut everybody down and, you know, interrupted the things that we enjoy. And I think as long as we're doing that social distancing and everything, we should be all right. So maybe I need to start thinking about some climbing again, right? Well, all right, everybody, it's Friday. It's awesome that you all stopped in here. I hope that you had fun with the 3D model and got some ideas from Wednesday's live stream as to how well Ground Station Pro did. Oh, by the way, the Ground Station Pro class has been submitted to Udemy. They've got a big notification on the main website saying that it could take up to 6 business days because they're getting so many submissions. I submitted it on, let me see here, July 21st. Here we are on the 24th. So no notification from them yet, but it's looking like that class isn't going to be up till next week. And for my patrons, when the class is up, if you're on my Patreon channel, you'll be getting a special notification over there about the class. And then I'll be following that up on YouTube for the regular subscribers if you're interested in that class. So yeah, do keep your eyes open next week on Monday. I think I will run the higher end version of that model just to demonstrate, you know, how detailed it is and what a good job Ground Station Pro did. Most of these capture apps really do a good job. So there, you know, there's none out there that just really screws up your models or anything. But Ground Station Pro is one of my favorites, and Map Pilot is fantastic. And since I've started using Drone Harmony, I'm finding a lot of uses for it as well. But I think GS Pro did a really great job on that 3D model earlier in this live stream. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap things up and go check with Jody to see how we want to put all these together. And we need to go pick some icons for everything. This should be a really fun tour. And like I said, next week when we have that tour up, I'll do a notification here and over on the Patreon channel as well so that you can see the final product. But a lot of fun this morning, and it's just nice to get out and enjoy nature and not be stuck behind the computer all the time, right? All right, everyone, have an awesome weekend. We'll see you next week. And be safe, have fun, and I hope you get some fun drone flights in too over the weekend. All right, and end the stream. And we'll go ahead.